We in the house once again, and my voice is gone once again. How are you today?
You are goals. You were like me last week. My goal was to not have a voice going into Monday. And look at you.
And this week I have no voice. Oh my goodness. Welcome back to the Beauty Vault. To everyone watching this in replay, we're at the
Peace and
top of the
blessings.
show, and no one is in here. I am BB Nicole, and this is my co host, Tran. And we're going to chop it a little bit before our guests arrive. Okay?
Yes,
So,
y'all.
oh,
What's
yes, I'm
up,
excited.
IG?
What's up, Apple Podcast? Oh my God,
What
it
it
sounds
do, boo? What the
what
business
it do,
is?
boo? Oh man, what a recap! What a amazing weekend,
Girl, you was living your best MILF life, okay?
girl. I
You was
was.
outside with it.
I was outside.
You was outside.
I was
Yee.
outside. Yeah, that made me so excited. I was outside, and it was nice. It was a beautiful girls' trip. Amazing time, great food, great energy. We were putting on the fits, just having fun. Like just it's just like an amazing girls' weekend. It was so good.
I'm real glad to hear that.
Yeah, me too. Considering
Correct.
how they usually go, but this
Oh my
girls' trip was
gosh.
super amazing.
Don't you hate when you get so excited to go on a trip and you do all of this planning just to go on a trip and it just be like,
And
wah,
it
wah,
doesn't flow.
wah.
Girl,
The
let me
worst.
tell you, we were with the perfect. What's so funny is I was there with, of course, my sisters and two other girls that I didn't know, Tara, and Juliana. Who she was? So I was there with another Aquarius, so that was fun. She's also a
Okay.
February Aquarius, so we clicked. We it was just a nice vibe. But I mean, it just flowed so well. We were all on the same energy. Like we got up, got straight to business. When it's time to get dressed and start our day, we got up. We did what we had to do. We were moving, getting out the house. We were pretty much it just flowed. Like we all kind of had the same type of interest and stuff like that. So it went
That's
well for
good.
the
It's
most
nothing
part.
worse than being on a group trip with people and then everybody has separate things that they want to do. And everybody just like, no, I want to do this. And then it just ends
Yeah.
up being a solo trip,
A
right?
mess.
Or
Yeah.
a
Solo
click
trip.
trip. People usually end up
Yeah.
clicking up. So
It
I'm glad to
really.
hear that it was a
Yeah.
positive experience,
It
like minded
was.
people. I'm glad. Tell me about some of the stuff that you guys got into this weekend, girlfriend.
Okay.
You know what? We do have two people on here.
Oh,
Peace and
yes.
blessings.
What's up? What's
Go
up?
ahead and get into the intro.
Let's get into it. What's up, everyone? I'm BB Nicole.
Peace and blessings. I'm Trent, and welcome back to the Mother Sucking Beauty Vault.
I am BB Nicole. I am your host on the show. I am salon owner of deluxehairgallery.co. For the ones that don't know, as well as founder of DHG Pro University, which is a continuing education platform.
That's right, girlfriend. I'm the CEO of Totally Trend. I'm your co-host here on the Beauty Vault, as well as your co-educator at DHG Pro University.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
We are excited to be here on our final week of mental health awareness. This is the last
yes.
of
The
May.
month. Mm-hmm.
Technically, we will be going. Is the first tomorrow? The first of
No,
June
I
is
think it's the
tomorrow,
20.
or do we
Today's
have
the,
one more day left?
we have like
Not
a
really
day.
sure. The point
Yeah.
is, this is technically the last week of May, which will be wrapping up our final week of mental
Yes.
health awareness month.
Mm.
And BB and I were just kind of touching bases because we hadn't touched bases all
Yeah,
week,
girl.
and we were
Mm.
just like, "Yo, let's wrap up
Our mental health month by
I feel some
finishing what we
judgment coming from you guys. Don't do it. Don't do that. Don't do that.
right. We're gonna wrap up what we
And
started at the beginning
yeah,
of the month.
and just chat. So today's hot topic, is mental health mingle,
It is, and
right?
we're gonna have a sip, chat, and paint, or we're gonna talk about some things and just, vibe out and do what we do best here on the Beauty Vault. I'm not gonna lie, like I'm super excited to get back to the beauty content and the hot topics surrounding the beauty industry. I can't wait to get back. I feel refreshed and I feel like I've had that mental break that we needed. Like we really, really took advantage of Mental Health Awareness Month, and I'm glad we did.
I agree. I
So,
definitely agree. As we were talking about yesterday and a few weeks before, there definitely been some challenging sequence of events that have been going on, some heart pulling events, some things going on in
for
the family
sure.
unit, some things going on in with our inner circle, and we
Yeah.
just wanted to take some time out for ourselves to just exhale, right? Take some time to um, appreciate where we are in life, appreciate the air that we have, the opportunities that we have, to be out here to go and provide for our families, right? Or to make memories. And
Yes.
even though there was a lot of hardship going on, we're just choosing to push through it.
Keep pushing through it. And
Today's hot
that
topic
should have
is
been the
pushing through.
topic.
Yeah.
Keep pushing through. Yeah. So like speaking of pushing through, well, before we push through, talk about pushing through, I just wanted to recap that this month, we started the month of May off with a sip, chat, and paint. It was our very first one. And then we did another episode that was what we learned in therapy, what therapy has taught us. And our next episode, our third episode, was It Is What It Is. And what did we do last week? I forget. But this week we are wrapping up the month by finishing our paintings and just chatting with each other and kind of touching bases and setting some goals, talking about more mental health things, of course, and just keeping it more relaxed and we vibing out like such. So, with that being said, how has your like mental state been this week? I haven't talked to you.
Well, my mental state this week have, to be honest, it's been challenging for me. To just
Yeah.
be a little bit more transparent, I am experiencing the hardships of being a teenage mom
Okay.
to the 55th power.
Right.
And I'm a young mom and I'm a teenage mom. And I wouldn't even say that I'm more of the new style type of parent. I don't know. Or
Yeah.
even gentle parenting per
Yeah.
se. So I've been getting a lot of pushback from my teenagers, and so that has been super stressful because as for me, I just speak for myself. I really aim to be the best parent that I can be every single day. I get out here every day, and not only do I try to represent myself well, but represent my children well as well. As at the same time represent my family, and I've just been in that season where it seems like my teenagers and I were just not seeing eye to eye. We're just butting heads. In there, it seems like they feel like I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't want them to have certain freedom. And so it's hard.
Yeah.
And so that's really where I'm at with it. I'm just giving myself some grace and realizing that I'm not in control of their actions, everything that they do, everything that they do. And as much as I want to jump in and with my cape and save them from themselves, a lot of times I realize that I have to give them to the Most High and
For
just pray for
sure.
them and just hope for the best. So that's hard as a parent, as a control freak, as a person who's
Yeah.
trying to have control over certain situations. I'm just giving that control over and just hoping that my teenagers will make the best decisions, right? And just understanding that they will fail sometimes, they will have discoveries sometimes, and that they'll be okay.
We
So
will.
I am working on being okay with my children they're growing up. They're
Yeah.
growing up, they want to be independent. They want to see what this wicked world is all about. And I'm like, no.
Like, don't even go out there. It's all good. Like, avoid it. Or just
Yeah,
take
but
your time getting there. I get it.
yeah,
Because
and I
like we
realize
were
like the
in
more that I kind of try to prevent certain things, the more that
we get that pushback.
seems like, yeah. So That's where I've been at. Just
Yeah.
kind of in a place of just accepting. I'm in that place of radical acceptance, just
Yeah.
taking things, it is what it is, but making sure that my heart is in the right place, making sure that my intentions are in the right place, recognizing that I'm not in the best moods. This isn't the best feeling when you're at odds with your children, because I aim to have
Yeah.
the best relationship with them, but parenting doesn't always feel good. And so
It
I'm
doesn't.
just in that season right now. So you guys, if you out there and you have teenagers that feel like they just don't understand you and you're a dinosaur and you just don't get it, I understand. Okay.
Yeah, you understand for sure. No, thank you for sharing that because I feel like at the end of the day, like we show up as is, and I love that about us. And sometimes our energy and stuff is down because we're facing things just like everybody else out there. Like we're facing things, and we don't really, put on the front out here. So I appreciate you being, candid about that because a lot of people are struggling like with their children as far as like parenting them and raising them because it's just a different world and their influences are greater than ours. Like granted, we had the same influences, but they're faced with being influenced by social media and so many different things that we didn't have access to. So it's like you gotta try to instill things and then in them, and then you have the world that they're growing up in, kind of going against everything you're trying to teach them. So I get it. It's a circus. It's a zoo. Parenthood is a zoo. So I can't always relate, but all parents struggle. So on that basis, I relate for sure. You know.
Yeah, definitely. And
Mhm.
I just appreciate, I would just want to shout out take the time to go ahead and shout out my community, my inner circle, because you guys,
Yeah.
the ones who have been checking on me, checking in, and just sending me those positive vibes and just being a voice of reason for me.
Yeah.
I just appreciate you guys. I'm grateful for you guys keeping me level headed. And for the ones that I have come across, let's just aim to make better decisions when it comes to these youths. Moving on.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. I wanted them to see what we were painting for a second. For the ones that are joining us, we are closing out Mental Health Awareness Month by completing a project we started at the beginning of the month, and we're just vibing and chatting while we do so. So I'm excited about that. But as far as like you sharing like how you've been feeling mentally, I have to say I went on an amazing trip this weekend, as we talked about on the top of the show. But I swear it was so hard for me to um get that peace surrounding it. I was so stressed out before this show. My anxiety was just I feel like it was just like trying to prevent me from going, and I'm so glad I didn't succumb to it. You know what I mean? It was so
Yeah.
bad. My anxiety was so elevated. Like I haven't experienced anxiety like that since the beginning of the year. I don't know if it's like separation anxiety because for the ones that don't know, I'm very open and transparent about my journey with like therapy. I started therapy. I am working through some PTSD from some traumatic events and going through therapy and going on my healing journey. It's been, let's just say I've been feeling very exposed. So I'm hyper aware, hypersensitive about my environment, the people that are in my environment, where I go, when I go, because when you're dealing with like panic attacks and all these different things, you want to be as close to your safe environment as possible, even though that's again trying to be too controlling. But for me, that was keeping me kind of grounded and helping me maintain and eliminate having like panic attack episodes. But we all know in life, you can't control your environment. We can't control anything, to be honest. So, just trying to kind of pushed myself to go on this trip, which was very far away from home, very far away from my comfort zone at a time where I am battling and facing anxiety that is very heightened. But I did it and I feel really, really proud. I feel like I've overcome something. Um, and I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like this weekend was like what's the best way to say it? Kind of like a win for me. Like I needed to just go, see how it went, see how I can manage my anxiety when I'm not close to my comfort zones. And guess what? On the girls' trip, you better believe shit popped off to where you needed to breathe, woosah, do your grounding skills. Guys, I did yoga on which day was it? We end up getting. I'm gonna tell. We got told. So in Houston, you have to pay for parking for everything, right? And we were going to an event, and we were like, okay, we're just gonna park in the grocery store parking lot because it was like it's a store. Why would we be told from a store? No one really knows what's going on. And this is just like the only one I feel like sharing. But we come out, we had a great day, we had a good time. And then we came out to get the car and it was gone. So you can only imagine like the stress and the anxiety that ensued just from that. And then to top it off, you got some women, some girls that are tipsy and drunk, and then you got me who's sober. I don't drink alcohol or do anything. So it's like, it was just like a moment, but we fixed it. We gathered ourselves. And do you know, like, this is how I know, like, this was an amazing trip and this was like an amazing experience because do you know that everyone was so overwhelmed that we just sat in the car silently going to our destination. And then one girl was like, can we put it on meditation while we drive? And I was like, oh yeah. So we literally listened to a meditation audio to get to our location because when I say it was hot as hell, you got paint on your face. It was hot. It was hot. That was stressful. And I'm talking about, you could just imagine a parking lot full of people looking for their car. It was just mayhem. And we just got into the car. We just put the meditation music on, and everybody was just looking straight ahead, like what the f. We got to pay attention to our surroundings, and just stay on it. So we were good after that, but like, girl, my anxiety was elevated. I also got a ticket, guys. That made me so sad. Oh, so I did yoga one morning. I was like, I just can't. So needless to say, my trip was fucking amazing. Really, really amazing. But I don't know. I ramble a bit, but we got time. I don't know. I was just happy that I didn't let my anxiety paralyze me because I was even talking to my honey, and I was like, I don't know if I should go. I was just thinking of everything that can go wrong, and I just felt like if anyone's dealing with anxiety, I don't know how it shows up for you guys, but for me, it shows up like dread and like, oh my God, something bad is about to happen. It's like you don't know what it is, but something's about to come, and it's going to be really bad. It's going to be catastrophic. It's like, and then think of all those feelings and put them in the most heavy weight and just set it on you. I just feel like I was being crushed. You know what I mean? It's like I could not snap out of it. Clearly, I did, but I had to be like, okay.
It was a process.
It was a process the entire time. I was just like, okay, what can go right? What can go well? What can go right about the trip? And I got in the car, we got rolling, and everything that could go right did. So I'm happy I didn't miss out on this opportunity out of fear, and letting my anxiety win. So I definitely feel like this was a win-win. And another thing that kind of has me like on edge too. Oops, 1 second. Sorry, guys. 1 second.
Peace and blessings. How y'all doing? You guys, we are just painting on our canvases today and just kind of recapping of our weekend and wrapping up our mental health awareness month. And we are grateful for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in.
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So my laptop died, but thank God I was on my phone too. But my laptop died because I forgot to plug it up. But anyway, I missed what you said. What did you just say?
I was just saying, hey y'all. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm just so glad that I went. Like, I'm so glad that I went. And another thing that had my anxiety super elevated is I sat out of therapy this month because I had so much going on, like in family life and work life. it was just not the month. I just couldn't fit it in. So I go back this week. So I start back. So I have so much to catch my therapist up on. And I have so many like victories and wins. But I just knew that she would be so upset or just so disappointed if I succumbed to my anxiety and didn't go on the trip, because we talked about this trip. We've been talking about it for so long, and she knew my anxiety was real heightened about it. But she was like, go on this trip and tell me about it when you come back. And so I'm super excited. I feel like, again, that's like a breakthrough for me, because I went, I did it. I have separation anxiety from my family. I get anxiety about whatever you could imagine. So I'm just really glad that I pushed through and I went. And it was just amazing. I'm glad I did it. So
Me too, girlfriend. It definitely reminds me of last weekend.
of what?
Going back, it reminds me of last weekend as I was going back with myself, because going through the things that I've been going through this month.
Yeah.
I got multiple invites, so a lot of people were kind of seeing me like off of my game.
Okay.
And my inner circle were reaching out like, hey, come on, we got this event going on, get outside, get some fresh air, get your mind off of things. And I remember having those same feelings, like, I know I need to. I know that it would be good for me, but the thought of being in a social environment automatically gave me anxiety, because one, I'm like, I don't wear my emotions. I don't hide my emotions well, right?
Yeah,
so
I do.
So when something's bothering me, it's on me. So I imagine myself in these social settings and then being triggered, and then now I'm in an emotional state, and so that
you're exposed.
Anxiety, right? Just feeling naked,
Yeah.
So I would not go to certain events or certain social settings, because I'm feeling like I would be triggered and find myself in a situation where I'd be explaining or kind of letting people in on what's going on, and I'm not ready, and I don't necessarily want to do that. I kind of want to get my mind off of things, have an outlet versus a intervention. So I totally get it. But I found myself last week just saying, like, girl, you need to get out, because what you're doing here at home isn't working.
It's not.
The things I was doing in the house to cope, it got to a point it kind of was starting to not work.
Yeah.
So being invited to certain social events, the R&B at the park, took advantage of that. But I had anxiety all the way there. And so I remember like breathing during the walk. I walked like 4 blocks just to get to the park, because I parked somewhere ridiculous. So I have anxiety walking up to the actual park. But like you say, certain meditations like the breathing or the fact that it was R&B, I could hear the songs as I was walking up. So that helped, because I found out that singing and music actually helps me with my own anxiety. Yeah. But it's definitely a celebration. Definitely proud of you. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
And I know that your therapist will be happy to hear that you did not allow fear and anxiety to keep you from going and enjoying your sisters, because you guys really needed that. It was like
it was healing.
It was past due for that for you guys. And as much as I wanted to invite myself for my own personal reasons and just kind of push myself on this trip, I really sat back and I was like, no, they really need this. Is for the Adams. They really need this. And so I was really happy for y'all. I was really hoping that it would be minimum drama.
Very minimum. It was so manageable.
Like you said, on a girls trip, it's to be expected. Some stuff. It's females. You know how we do. But the fact that you guys were able to breathe through it, talk through it, get through it, and still have a good time and come back and say, hey, I would like to do that again. That's an accomplishment.
It's an accomplishment.
So I'm happy. I'm happy to hear that too.
Yeah, and it, like I said, there were some hiccups, but to me, none of the hiccups were enough to say that I regret going on the trip, because I don't. And I feel like that's usually when my gut and when my anxiety or whatever else you want to call it tells me not to do something. And when something goes wrong, I'm like, see, I already knew. But nothing that went on made me feel that way. It was all like, okay, this is a learning experience. Like, I want to do more with my sisters. I want to hang with them more and grow with them and heal with them. And I want to see who they are now, because we've been outside of the house with each other so long. We're new people. we have different likes, we have different desires, and I wanted to kind of like see where they're at and see how they're feeling. And I think we got to know each other a lot better. And we were able to, like, any conflict that arose, it didn't go beyond, it didn't go to like any necessary level. So that was really good, and coming from like my family, working through what we've worked through, a lot of things do get escalated. So for us to have little tiffs and things like that, little hiccups along the way on our trip, it really, we were able to like manage and keep the energy up and move on. You know what I mean? Anything, like, we solved it and kept it pushing. There was no lingering emotions. Or if there was, they weren't enough to mess up the mood. So that lets you know I couldn't feel any vibes. So just
That just lets you know that's genuine
there's
vibes. Just like
growth.
you wanted it to be there and everything go well. That just lets you know that the other people that were there too in the group, they wanted to have a positive
They
experience.
wanted to have a good time, and we did.
And that's
just
important. That's
It was-
important in the circle, man, to have
Yes.
people that feel the same way.
Yeah. So that was
Like a
needed.
circle.
That was needed. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just glad I got to spend time with them. So that was really exciting. There were so many cool places in Houston. Like, there was like this coffee shop that has like infused things and all these things. It was so fun. I was like, so I feel like so many of my friends would have liked it in there. It was just such a vibe. I'm gonna eventually dump the content, but I feel like I was really enjoying myself that I barely wanted to post. So I was just taking it all in, taking it
Would you
all
move to
in.
Houston?
Would I move there? I think I would. I just felt like it was so.
You move to Houston?
I feel like I could live there. Literally, I feel like I judge. This is how I judge if I could live in a place. Like, I don't know. The change of scenery just really helped me see that it's my environment. Sometimes it's your environment that can suck energy out of you and suck desire and will out of you. And I felt inspired. The city was big. It felt like it just felt like possibilities for there. You know what I mean?
I definitely understand. Only
I was
thing
like-
I don't like about Houston, and I said this before, I'll say it again. It
Yeah.
takes 45 minutes to get everywhere.
You could never go there. I feel like we could never Uber there. Like, unless I feel like Ubering around Houston is a no-go. I would always get a rental car. And it was just so big that we did so much, but we still done nothing. Like, it was like we didn't even put a dent in like the plans. Houston is huge. I remember, and I love driving and being so high up. It was just a vibe. Houston is nice. Like, this weekend, we went through 5 states. We went to Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama. What else? And then Texas, of course. And then we got on through and made it into Houston. So that was a vibe. I'm making progress too. Yes. I don't know, but it was just so fun. Like, I needed that trip. And I know that I'm going to have many more. And I also feel like, what we're doing. We know that we're going to have to be in the presence of so many people with education and going on tours and going to different places. I feel like this was like, it was just that for me. Like, see, there's so much more for you to do. This is why you got to get out your house. This is why you can't be in your house. You can't just be here because it feels safe. You can't be reclusive because it feels safe. You can't get stuck. But I wanted to talk about, like, where, it's Mental Health Awareness Month. We have people kind of like going through like grief. How do you feel? How do you deal with grief? Because I know that I put it like this. It's been hard for me to like watch people I love deal with it because you have so many different responses to it. We respond so differently. So I feel like right now I'm kind of like struggling to see loved ones deal with grief. It's hard to watch. So how do you deal with grief personally?
Personally, I deal with grief. I tend to isolate. I tend to kind of turn into a hermit crab. I kind of create a happy place around myself, kind of isolate myself.
That's good.
I
You like
really just try to, yeah, when I'm in grief, I really just try to zone in to the things that make me happy, that make me physically feel good, that put me in a positive mental state.
mm-hmm,
Um, so maybe hang around loved ones, sit under loved ones,
mm-hmm.
listen to music that I really, really like, um, take bubble baths, take salt baths,
Yeah.
right, meditate. But I really, when I'm mourning, I really, yeah, I do like to spend time with loved ones, but for the most part, when I'm dealing with grief, I isolate up to myself.
I want to say because like I don't have any. Well, I'll just say how I deal with grief. I feel like the last time I dealt with grief, I kind of do the same thing that I do with most things, which is a habit I'm trying to get out of. I do a lot of avoidance, which is not good. Like, of course, crying and things like that. But my go-to is to like keep pushing, and that's not always good. Like trying to go back to things as normal,
Yeah.
um, as much as I possibly can. Um, I just want to say, like, with you having lost recently, what is something that I know I what is something that you needed in that moment that you didn't get, and what is something that you advise people who has recently lost someone, the friends and loved ones of someone who's lost someone? What do you advise that they do to if they can support their friends? So, one, what did you need when you were grieving that you didn't get when you experienced a loss? Or do you feel like there's anything that could have been done? Like, how do you feel about that?
Um, I have a pretty good circle of influence. I'm not
Mhm.
gonna say that I felt like I should have got things that I didn't get. One, because I'm an individual who has come to realize that my love language is different from everyone else's.
Mhm.
And I also realized that during my time of grief, I felt different things during different times of the day.
Yeah.
One moment I felt like I really needed a hug. I just needed to be held for
Mhm.
a moment. In other moments, I didn't want to be touched at all.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't want to even be in the presence of anybody. I kind of just wanted to sit in the dark, lay
Mhm.
in the bed. Um, so my advice for others, I guess, would just be patient.
Mhm.
I'd expect people to be patient with me.
Mhm.
Understand that at one moment, grief kind of comes and goes. It's a wind of
Right.
emotions, right? For
Yeah.
myself. Sometimes I was just in a moment where I just embraced and I appreciated the memories that myself and my loved ones had. So that would
Mhm.
make me happy. But a few moments later I'd be in a puddle of tears because I'm saddened,
Mhm.
saddened that they're not there. So just being patient and do whatever you feel like you you can do or you want to do in that moment. I had
Yeah.
people send me edible arrangements that
Yeah.
I didn't even know that would make me feel good.
But it did.
But
You're
it
just
did.
advised.
Not only the gesture of the edible arrangements to be thought about, but the fact that, hey, I'm grieving. I haven't eaten in a few days.
Yeah.
This
So you've
fruit
been.
is going to give me life.
Yeah. That's
Grieving, I don't want
wow.
anything greasy, fried, or anything like that. So just having fruit of life was
Mhm.
able to kind of um, help me through. I had people send me cards. I had people pull up on me and give me hugs. I
Yeah.
had people that just sent me, like yourself, you would just send me text messages. Hey, I'm here. I'm just thinking about
Yeah.
you. I'm just here. Just so they're just different things. And I felt like I appreciated everyone and what they did do. I even appreciate the people who just gave me space.
That is that. Like yeah.
I appreciate the people who just let me be. And then when time came around, just let it be known, like, hey, I did see that you were going through a hardship, but I felt the
Yeah.
best thing that I could do was give you space because sometimes we as friends would think that we're helping, but we actually could be kind of doing the most. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
It's a fine line. Yeah.
I just appreciate, yeah, I'm learning to appreciate people for what they, what they can give.
Yeah.
How
I
about yourself?
I don't know. Like I think about like my own. I have so many. I have a few people that are kind of dealing with grief at the moment, currently, and are dealing with the aftermath of grief. Like my big brother, he lost his father, and it's like I feel like I do need to check on him, but it's like, what do you say? Because it's nothing can really undo that. I don't feel like it's nothing I can say. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know. I just pray. I do a lot of praying. Sometimes I'm praying for people, even if I haven't talked to them or spoke to them. I'm like praying for their peace. I'll even reach out to y'all sometimes and just I pray for everybody's peace and their sound mind. And sometimes I also think like if I'm going through this, somebody else is probably going through this. If I'm having a hard time, I find myself thinking about other people instead of so much of myself. And normally I'm more self-centered only because it's like a self-defense type of mechanism. But like I find myself like more like, okay, pause. You're stressed out right now. You're borderline on the borderline of tears right now. Have you checked in with your people? How are they? So when I send y'all these random messages, it's like I just been hit with like a okay, I need to make sure everybody around me is good because it's not all about me. It's not all about my problems. Let me check in and see how everybody else's day is going, type stuff like that. So for me, I feel like um I can work on dealing with grief. I haven't had anything recent happen, but I do know that like people around me have experienced grief, and sometimes I'm like, am I doing enough? Am I doing too much? Step back, step in, lean in. You know what to do, but I don't know. I feel like what you said is a mixture of all those things. Think about when you're thinking about somebody, shoot them a message, send a prayer up for them, or reach out. And if you don't get them back instantly, that's a sign too that they need space. So I don't know. I agree with what you said though. That makes total sense. And I was asking you because I was like, I know you had the passing of your grandma. So I know that you've experienced that recently. So, you know, yeah, grief has a lot. Like, and people don't even understand like grief is not just always losing a loved one. It could be a missed opportunity. It can be relationships that you thought were going to be something more than what they are. It could be you having to let go of a vision that you had for your life and it's something else. It's friendships. You can lose a friendship. So we're all grieving so many different things. So yeah, it can look so many different ways. It doesn't have to be like a loss of life. It can be a loss of other things, you know? I
I
don't know.
agree. I
Yeah.
agree. No, I totally agree. And it's
Mhm.
just hard because, like you said, we all out here, we don't all speak the same love language. And so sometimes a friend could be crying out for help and you thinking that, like you say, they just need space.
Mhm. It's
But
hard to that's the
just
one.
I would just say do what you feel. If you feel like you're in a mental capacity to be there for someone who is grieving and you want
Yeah.
to be there for them, then do what you feel like you can do within those boundaries.
Right.
Be open minded that they may not respond, the way that you might want them to, because everyone responds, everyone deals with grief differently. But
Yeah.
be patient, and when you're reaching out, or when you're reaching out to a person that's grieving, or you're attempting to be there for them, just understand that everyone deals with it differently.
They
And it
do.
looks different on everyone. Don't take it personal.
Yeah.
Do it. I wouldn't even say do it for yourself. Just do it. If that's what you want to do, then just do it, but have the open mind that they might not
Yeah,
be wanting to hear none of that right now,
for
because
sure.
just like you were saying, none of that's going to bring your loved ones back.
Mhm.
But that
How do
shouldn't stop
you
you from pulling up, giving hugs. That shouldn't stop you from listening to the good times, and giving
Yeah.
whatever advice that you have.
Yeah. So, okay. So yeah, all of our replay viewers and listeners, how do you guys deal with like grief and anxiety? Let us know down below. We're chatting it up, but we do want your engagement. We do want to hear from you. We want to hear your thoughts. You know what's been like? I was on social media, like I'm back on Facebook. Since I went on vacation, I got back on Facebook to like post and update my family, update my friends. And you know, it's Monday. I come through social media world on Mondays.
That's right.
Mondays only, it be feeling like. So y'all got a lot of me this weekend. Probably won't hear from me for the rest of the week. But girl, I just feel like I I I immediately because I told you like in the last episode, I do feel like social media has a effect on like my mental health. Like I said, I feel like for me, Facebook is just one of those websites that brings me unnecessary stress, and it's not my favorite social media platform. So with that being said, I it's like as soon as I got on here, like I was hit with like I tried to avoid it and we don't have to talk about it, but like I saw apparently there has been like a tragedy. And I don't know what it is. I just saw a picture of a lot of people at a gas station and I was like, yeah, I'm out of there. So I'm already off of social media. I also saw like some people speaking out vocally about like depression. And I saw one person, they made a post, and I just said like a silent prayer for them because I don't talk to everyone. And I just said like a silent prayer, but they were just mentioning like that they feel like their depression is getting the best of them and it's going to take them out. And I'm just like, the world is like, if you pay attention, everybody is like crying out for help. And it's like, I don't know, it's just really weighs on my heart. And being an empath, I had to remove myself from social media. So if you are that person, if you're that person who made that post and you see this video, um, I I have empathy for you, and I definitely hope that depression doesn't get the best of you or take you out. But like stuff like that is so hard to digest. So how do you feel about like people crying out for help on like social media as far as like their mental state? Do you see a lot of that on your platform, or how is it for
Um,
you? I
I
see
see.
a lot of
I,
it.
I do. I do see it on my platform. I do feel like I can be empathic at times as well. I'm sending those silent prayers. I've gotten better at trying not to fly in with a cape per se to try to save people or solve people's problems.
Mm-mm.
Because we are the children of the Most High at the
That's
end of the
sure.
day. And so the best help that I feel like we could give anybody is positive intentions and a
That's right.
positive prayer, positive affirmation manifestation.
Yes.
Uh, but
I don't know. For me, I just I
it's
don't.
me, I feel like I have individuals that I can pick up the phone and say, yo, like I am 2 seconds from calling the fifth floor for being on the fifth floor.
Yes.
But
So like, these people don't,
everyone may not have that privilege.
and
Everyone may not have that privilege or feel that they can pick up the phone and
that's
call someone.
heartbreaking.
And I do believe that people feel like they connect
With
better
social
with
media,
strangers than the people that are in their circle of
crazy.
influence.
That's heartbreaking, and it's like
You
it
know,
makes you.
because that's it's almost like the norm now.
It is, and
Put
that's
ourselves out there to a world full
crazy.
of strangers, and we're looking for validation. We're looking for
Validation.
acceptance. And as soon as things,
Yeah,
we start looking a little dark, we're reaching back out to those people who gave us that acceptance,
that's
you
right.
know, to fill our cup back up. But that's the
Yeah.
whole thing. There's nothing I can do for you. There's nothing BB
There's
can do.
nothing, and there's nothing social
Better than
media
what
can
you can
do.
do for yourself. And if
Hmm.
you are feeling hopeless, if you are feeling like you are not good enough, that is literally something that you need to drop
Take
on
a
your
look into.
knees and discuss with your creator,
That's
and
right.
really look at those things and evaluate why you're feeling the way that you feel. What is it that is
Hmm.
making you feel those negative ways about yourself? Because there's so much beauty inside of each and every single one of us. I don't believe that
Yes, I
there's
wish
one
people
person
would.
on this earth, on this planet, that does not have talent, that does not have something that someone else does not have, which means
Yeah,
that you have purpose.
for
And though it's
sure.
not as, um,
It's gonna look different person to person, but you still have
yeah,
purpose.
yeah, but
Yeah.
there's beauty inside of each and every one of you, and so and you have to believe that first. It doesn't matter how many people tell you, how many likes, how many shares, how viral, none of that,
None of that.
none of it,
None of it matters. Yeah.
really speaks for the person that is inside, the spirit that is inside. So
Yeah.
yeah, my heart does go out to those people as well. But the reality is, there's something I don't have the training. I don't have
Yeah,
a
no.
degree. I haven't gone to school. I haven't done any research, well, you know what I mean? I'm not a professional
No,
comes
by
to any
any
type of
means.
thing. So when I see this stuff come on my timeline, the best thing I could do is pray for you.
Yeah, I just,
Say a
it's to me
positive
like,
line for you, send you some positive words, but the work
mhm.
is in yourself.
Yeah, I feel like for me, I brought it up to say like, that's why I've been like removing myself from like social media because it's just like heavy. I know it's not that serious, but I feel like you see some things that aren't so serious. Then there's a lot of serious shit going on, and again, I always say, and I'll forever say, like we shouldn't be downloading so much energy, so much of anything constantly 24/7. So I'ma always be that way. Like I said, I send prayers and scroll on my timeline very, very, very little because I'm just super protective about like what I'm like absorbing and what I'm digesting and feeding myself mentally. Because we, I'll just speak for myself. It's not always hard for me to like leave stuff where it's at. I kind of carry it with me. So I'm heavy on protecting my peace right now.
No, even the
Heavy.
same, and I realize there's so many people out here that is dealing with grief, and I have found myself too staying off of social media because there's so much tragedy that's going on. I'll find
Yeah.
myself scrolling, and it literally changes
Your
the way
whole
that I,
mood.
that I see the world, that I see myself in. It affects how I carry my day. So
Yeah, I
the best
agree.
thing for me is to disconnect, and just only worry about the things that are before me in my environment, in
Yeah.
my space at that time. And so
Speaking of that,
I've even had to separate myself from certain people because it's like, I
same.
can't do anything for you. I'm in
Hmm.
a place now in my life where I have to really, I'm helping myself. I'm in a
Yeah.
place right now where I am worried about my mental health. I'm worried about when
Hmm.
I am taking charge. I'm taking accountability for my mental health. I'm
Yes.
doing things about
Same.
my mental health. I'm doing things about the things that are bothering me, right? I'm
Yes.
being proactive,
Hmm.
and um that requires some separation from certain people and things,
Elevation requires separation.
because I just don't have the room for it.
Hmm.
And that doesn't mean that I don't love people, that I don't want the best for them, that I wish any bad on them. It's just really
Hmm.
right now, I only have the capacity to worry about the things that are on
Yes.
my lane, on my
It's,
path right now
yeah.
in this moment. That's not to say that I hope that I don't ever see these people again. We meet each other, get on that path. But right now,
Yeah.
I am pushing through,
Me
right?
too. I'm pushing through. Speaking of what you were just saying, as far as like focus on your own lane, I have been really like really giving more attention to staying present. Um, like day by day, moment by moment, because I don't know about you, but like for me, I can be chilling, doing something, then my mind will go off into like it'll kind of go too far in the future. That's the best way to put it. So I've been like working for me, like staying present has really helped me reduce my like anxiety and stress. Like just focusing on the now, like my kids, like sitting and talking to them. Like I couldn't wait to get back home after my trip to just sit with them and hang with them. So I've been real present today. I haven't thought about tomorrow. I didn't even think about the beauty vault until the beauty vault's time. Like just really being present has just like helped me, and I really I don't know if it was just like the trip that gave me like that refresher, but I'm hoping to keep it up. So I'm really hoping to like maintain that and remain present because that's really my anxiety been so low today. I'm like I went through all that to get to that trip, get through that trip, get home from that trip, and now I'm like back at peace. Like, oh,
I
like
hope that inspired you just to do it again. You know what I mean? That just means do it again
yeah,
and again and again.
like my therapist say, I have to keep being exposed to things, like especially the things that would make me freeze up or paralyze me or make me fearful. It's like exposure to them will lessen the reaction. So I need to get back to. I feel like since I started therapy, that's another thing. I feel like I stopped. Like I don't skate as much, um, because I feel like the journey that I'm on is not one that I'm familiar with. So I'm just trying to like. The best way to put it is like just trying to, I don't know, just make sure nothing throws me off track. But again, that's not
Control
in
what
my
you're not in control
control.
of.
Yeah, so it's like, well, if I stay home today, everything's gonna be well. I know what to expect from my environment. So, but that's also not me, and not being true to myself. That's another thing that causes things to like kind of reach like a breaking point with me as well, because I am in a sense going against myself, because I am outgoing. I may be introverted, but I do like to go places. I do like to do things. I do like to dress up. I do like to be social to an extent. So staying home is not really like pouring life into me. And the trip really, it really, reminded me of that. I'm like, oh my God, this is me. Like I'm adventurous. I'm spontaneous.
Yeah,
Like this
that
is
was,
this
I
is
get it.
me.
Yeah.
Like, and oh my God, you were talking about that when you went to your music fest. You were just like, oh my God, I get what you're saying now. I relate on a whole nother level now. I
You are
I
my
relate.
yang twin, honey.
Yeah.
That's
Can you?
exactly what I was saying. Was just like, yo, it was
Mhm.
like a familiar dream.
Yeah.
This
Can you hear
feels
me?
this feels right, but it's almost foreign. And
Yeah.
everything I'm doing is natural. I'm moving. My body knows what it's doing, but my mind is like, wait,
Like
is
I
this
remember this
acceptable
girl.
in your life where you are now? Are
Hmm.
you should you be doing this stuff?
Yeah.
You're going through hardship right now. You should be
Right.
somewhere
Oh my God.
crying
Oh,
in a corner. Woe
another
is
thing.
me.
Yeah,
Come
another thing
outside.
for me.
Pushing through.
Um, I've been having like I'll just share it because why not? I can't even give you the example without sharing it. I have like, going through therapy, I had like a fear of like reoccurring, like having episodes that I'm actually healing from. And I had like a fear that like maybe my coping skills and the things that I've learned won't help me or won't work if I'm out of my environment. And what's crazy is, I'm telling you, I feel like I got so stressed that I was like, number one, I implemented my coping skills and I did everything that I'm supposed to do, and I'm away, I'm out of my environment, I'm far away, and it was fine. So I really needed that moment. Like I said, that's why I say it's a breakthrough for me. The trip was a breakthrough for me because I got to see like, no, you can manage this from wherever you are. And I also listened to like a ceremony, or not ceremony, but what do you call it? I haven't been to church so long. Um, a sermon. I listened to a sermon that morning, because I do feel like spiritually I want to get more in alignment. And
Right.
I was listening to a message, and I just kind of listened to TD Jakes, and she was just talking about like how God has like healed us from so much, and we don't even know we already healed from it. And that kind of resonated with me because I was just like, here I am still holding on to the fear of like stuff that I literally already overcome. But it's just really that no matter how mentally strong you are, when you go through traumatic stuff, it it can linger. But
It's like
it
muscle
was just
memory.
it's a muscle memory, and it's like another sign for me to stop looking back. Like what's behind me no longer serves me, and it no longer serves where I'm going and my purpose. Like I kind of got to let go of that story and let go of that trauma. That's kind of what I got from that message. And that's what I felt like God was trying to say to me. Like, you got to leave that back there because it doesn't affect you anymore. You're healed from that. Like, you're not going to deal with that no more. And so that was just like, whew. When I tell you, I had like a moment, and it was just like a beautiful release. So that I just had like a great trip. I just hope that comes across. Like the trip was so good. I feel like my glow was just glowing. I could. That's how I feel. Like my glow is lit, and it's the truth. It's like, but I worked so hard to get it, to get this glow. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
doing some inner fucking work, bro. And I don't know. I'm really proud of me,
I'm proud
and
of you too,
I'm
sis.
proud of me. Like God, girl, I would have never thought that I'd be like stuck in my house like a little hermit,
I
closed up,
never thought I'd
locked
be
up.
afraid to go outside.
I never thought. Like who
We
would have
always
thought?
been like, okay, where we at? It's
Right,
lit. We're gonna be a vibe.
like,
And
like
girl,
going nowhere to control our environment, to control our reaction. Like I feel like unless you experience something traumatic to where you get like it makes you go through life real cautious, and I don't want to be like that. Like I don't want to be so cautious to where I'm not living. And I feel like this trip was that for me. Like, okay, girl, remember you're spontaneous, you're fun, you're adventurous, you're vibrant. Don't lose that. Stay true to that. So that's what this trip was for me. Like, it's the first of many. I'm gonna stop being reclusive. I'm gonna stop being a hermit, or just find balance. Because right now I was just unbalanced. I was too much of a out the way, not on the scene. It was just too much to where it doesn't even really align with who I am as a person, you know?
yes, I get it, girl.
Mm-hmm.
If
Mm-hmm.
anybody get it, I get it.
For sure. I've been painting, sipping, eating. I just needed this. Like, but we're getting to business next week. We back on it. We back
We
with it. We back
are.
with that content. We back bringing that controversy, whatever we got to talk about. We back with it. We
We
are
are.
recharged for sure. So I'm so excited.
Me too,
Woo.
girlfriend. Me
Yeah, I just,
too.
it's crazy. Like, I'll say it again. I can't wait to this time next year, or just I can't wait to see a year from now, like what pops off with the beauty vault. But this has been, I don't know, this has been amazing. Really been an amazing experience doing this podcast. I'm literally, we gotta finish. Are we gonna finish today? We're gonna finish, right?
I feel like mine is kind of like
It looks. That was an ugly laugh. Can we delete it? I don't have a voice anymore. So like,
ah.
oh my
Listen
god.
here, honey.
I feel like I'm getting more color, but it's
Tina the
still.
Tiger is she just doing her own thing.
Oh my
Okay.
god! I'm so ready for. I'm ready to talk about like current events and things that are going on in the world again. I'm so ready to do that because so much has transpired. We've lost, Tina Turner passed. Oh my god! Wait, that's who passed, right? I haven't been on the internet. Who
Yeah, I think Tina
passed?
Turner just passed like
Okay, I was gonna say if it's
2 days
somebody else, I'm gonna
ago.
be. Yeah, I was like, oh my god, she's an icon. Wow, what a legacy! What a legacy! I don't know, like death just has a way of like reminding you of your mortality for sure.
Yeah, I was just about to say that the fact that we know that we're gonna die, we have to do
Yeah.
more living.
Yeah, and not only that, I feel like we gotta start. I feel like we need to change the conversation around death. Like for this to be something that like is definite, meaning no one gets away with, like no one gets out of life without it. You know what I mean? Why is it a conversation that people don't talk about until it's in their face? Like I don't know about other communities, but my family never talked about death. I haven't talked to anyone in my family about their plans, what they would like, what their desires would be. I only know their desires of living. You know what I mean? Like, how do you feel about that? Is that something you kind of stay away from? You feel like it's like taboo, or do you kind of wish that we kind of talked about that more as well as like a community? I feel like we don't talk about anything until it's at our doorstep. Try to kind of like
Yeah,
avoid it.
I agree.
I'm not gonna lie. I have a lot of fear around it, and it's so weird. Um, I do have fear around it, but it's more so of like it's more. I feel like it's more so about because I I have little lives here.
Yeah.
You know, that's what makes it scary and all these things for me. Maybe more things, but the biggest thing is like my babies. You know, I think about them.
Yeah,
Just
because
making
I've
sure you
definitely
understand
found myself in the car like, Lord, I want to make it home to my kids.
all the
Like, I don't
time.
want this to be my last grocery
That's
ride, God.
right. I pray so hard, Mo. I pray so hard to grow old and to prepare my kids for life. I pray over their safety, my safety, their father's safety. I just pray so hard for the people I love. Like I find myself, I feel like this is my hardest praying season in life. You know what I mean? I ain't prayed this much in so long, and I'm very intentional and conscious too. I try not to like pray and like out of fear. You know, I try to check myself like like this is just for good intentions. I don't want to always come before God in fear, so I try to be. I've been more aware, like just praying over everything. I show gratitude. Just it doesn't matter. I'm just talking to the higher power more and more, whether that's for my wishes, my desires, for my peace. I prayed for my mind to be guarded, my heart to be guarded, because those are the most, I feel like, vulnerable things right now for me. Like, you know, um, just
I
praying for my
definitely
mind.
enjoy our sister circle prayers. We got to get
Yeah,
back into
we got to
that.
get back. We got to
I
start back
really
doing our
enjoy
circle
that. It
prayers.
seemed like when we were doing that,
It was
it
making
really,
our weeks better.
yeah,
Like,
it was,
it
especially doing
felt
that on
better.
like Monday. It would set the tone for our week, and we kind
Yeah,
of get the fears and the negative stuff out the way, put it
out the
before
way,
God, give it
talk
to the
about
Most
it.
High, and once we were done praying, it was like we okay, we
Left
don't
it.
have to
Like we
worry
leave
about
it
it no
there.
more.
Yes. It's a release. It keeps you from having to like to carry unnecessary things. Like it's like we just leave it there and then start our day. We're not carrying it with us. Like we get it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Get it off our chest. We gotta bring that back for sure.
we
And I
do.
think that's exactly what it was doing. Just that. Like helping us just release it and give it to who can really do something about it. And it ain't us. All we can do is exist. I don't know. I'm just so grateful, girl. I'm trying. Look at me. I'm trying to get that thing. I'm trying to get it done. You hear me? I'm trying to get it done. You hear? We're gonna get
You
this
hear
thing.
me?
We're gonna get out of here and have our daggone paintings finally done. Look at us following through. I said before we get to this hour and 5, I'm gonna be done with this painting. You hear me?
You guys, we're grateful for you tuning in with us today. We are getting ready to wrap it up.
Yes.
Today was our last Monday on the topic of mental health awareness. We look forward to doing this again next year in next May.
Yes.
We will be back to regular business, talking about things that are going on in the culture, things that are going on in the beauty industry. And we look forward to you guys dropping some topics in the comment section, letting us know what topics you guys want to talk about, what events that are going on. Maybe there's some things that are going on this summer that we could take advantage of to help with our mental health or just our elevation and loving self more. You guys tune in to watch us each and every Monday around 9:30 p.m.
We're done. We did it.
This is what we came up with because clearly we are artists, right?
Oh, look at that. Let's give them a good view.
Clearly we're artists, and we wouldn't want to leave you guys hanging from our first week. This is how you follow through. This is how you pull through. Finish what you start.
And push
no matter
through.
How long it takes, keep getting back in the game. Give it your best shot, and someone will appreciate you for who you are, see that beauty and that talent, and love you for you. Let's love on ourselves a little bit more. I love you, BB Nicole.
I love you, Tran.
And peace out, A-Town down.
We'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye, guys.